So one of the questions that I'm often asked is how I'm able to do everything that I do. I guess we're all allotted 24 hours in a day, and I guess I'm magically able to get done with more things than any normal human should be able to get done with. But as you can see, sometimes things overlap. I'm filming this one from my car. My daughter's outside at soccer practice. So, I guess that's a valid question. For those of you that really don't know much about me, let's see. I make my living as an instructional coach, so that means I'm kind of over 18 graduate students. I'm also an adjunct professor. I'm a soldier in the U.S. Army Reserves. Actually, I'm a commander in the U.S. Army Reserves. Let me make sure that I throw that out there, because that adds a lot more to my calendar than 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks out of the summer. So that. I am also an executive director for a nonprofit at the moment. And then I'm in a sorority. The obvious things, I'm a mom, so I've got 3 kids. We're a blended family, 2 dogs. I'm also a caregiver. My in-laws live with us, so we spend a lot of time helping with them as well. And I think that's it. I get confused too. I have to think about it. I have to think about the ways I make my money, and then like the other things that I do on the side. So, not like on the side, but whatever. You know what I mean. And the way that I always answer this question is pretty much the same. So, my answer of how I get it all done is calendars and prayers. I keep a lot of calendars, so like if anyone looks at my phone or my computer is synced, and then I also have a calendar on my desk of things that I write down and stuff like that. I put everything in the calendar, and as long as things are told to me in advance, I can pretty much make sure that I'm able to make them happen. But the one thing that I did learn from that is that I don't do very well when things change at the last minute. So like if I have an appointment at 1 o'clock and then that person calls and they're like, for some reason they're not on campus today, that completely like ruins my entire day. I'm learning to adjust through that, but I think that's probably the most difficult part of it. So I do spend a lot of time praying as well. I spend a lot of time in my car, so oftentimes when I'm in the car, I'm spending a lot of time meditating, if you would like to say. I just keep it on a Christian radio station, and somehow that brings me some sort of peace, and somehow I get it done, I guess. It's funny because this is one of like the arguments that I have with my husband all the time, when I'll like leave him a list of something to do and it magically doesn't get done, and I'm like, I get done with this, and this throughout like 10 hours, and you've had like 10 weeks to get this done. But then after talking to my girlfriends, I guess that this is kind of something that just has to do with men. But that's how I get everything done, and magically it happens. So I guess if you're trying to life the right way, try lifing using calendars, and that looks different for different people. Some people can physically write it down and it's okay. I can't. I'll forget about it. So I have to make sure that it's not only written down, but it's in some sort of digital format for me as well. So it pops up on my Apple Watch whenever something comes up that's like, hey, you have this. Or I use that reminder of remind me a day before, because otherwise I'll forget as well. But that's pretty much how you life with so many different tasks and things going on. It's starting to get a little dark out here, but if I do my light like this, then it looks like I'm filming for a scary movie, so I'm just gonna do, regular stuff. People might wonder, like, with all these things that you have going on, do you have time for your family? And I do, because I schedule them in. It might sound like like that's like a horrible thing to do. I schedule in even my gym time, my family time, what I'm gonna do with my kids, what kind of activities we're going to go get done, and when we're gonna get them done. It's what works for me. Outside of Army, because the Army, we do our schedule a year in advance, so I know a year out when we're going to be meeting for the most part. But after putting those initial things into my calendar, literally my family portion of my planning comes next. And then I can build in the rest of those things. And I'm fortunate enough that with my job, I'm kind of able to create my own schedule. So that really helps out too. When I was in the type of career where I couldn't really make my own schedule, then I just made sure to make time for the things that were important to me. And those are the things that always get scheduled first, and everything else kind of comes after that. So really being able to prioritize also comes into play whenever you're thinking about how to make whatever it is that you need to get done in your life done. For me, it's going to be the things that make me happy, which is first going to be my family, and then the things that make me money, because that's what kind of keeps substance and stuff in our house. So, thanks. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't mind me. I'm just lifing. Stop. I didn't press stop.